Okay, so before I was so rudely interrupted with my technology, here is what I wanted to go over next with you. So, as you can see, I was talking to you that notice that since the Y chromosome does not contain the gene, that there's no superscript above the Y. And this is because sex-linked traits are carried on the X chromosome. So, what's the use in putting a superscript above this Y if there's no sex-linked traits on a Y chromosome? So, you never ever ever put a superscript beside this Y, beside any Y, okay? And that's because that they're only contained on the X chromosome. So this right here, this slide just shows you how to write the following genotypes. Now, what you have to do is you always have to use the X's and the Y's to represent the sex chromosome. So that way you'll know if it's a boy or a girl. Then you use the alleles for the particular trait. So in this case, we're going to be talking about hemophilia, so we're using H's. All right, so a large H is normal, capital H is normal, which means no hemophilia, because most sex-linked disorders are carried on the recessive gene. Okay, so we're using a capital H to represent normal and a lowercase h, the recessive gene, to represent hemophilia. All right, so if you go down here, you have a female. Obviously, she has two X's. And then if there are two capital H's beside each of those X's, then you know that this is a normal female, right? There's two H's. Two capital H's. H's mean that it's normal. So, and it's a girl, so it's a normal female. She does not have hemophilia. If you go down, there is another XX, so this is another female, but this one has a capital H and a lowercase h. Okay, we talk about that being heterozygous, except in this case, we are calling them carriers. We never, ever, ever call heterozygous people carriers, okay? We never, ever, ever call heterozygous people hybrids or heterozygous. We call them carriers, okay? Only carriers. If we're talking about sex-linked traits, it's a carrier, all right? So if they have a capital letter and a lowercase letter, they're called carriers. And this is what happens here. Now, she's normal, but Miss Clayton, how is that? She still has the recessive trait. Well, just like in normal, dominant, and recessive traits, the dominant, which is normal, still covers the recessive, which is hemophilia. So the normal, the dominant trait, covers the recessive, which is hemophilia. That's how she's normal. She still has the gene because she still has that recessive trait, so she's a carrier, but she doesn't exhibit any of the symptoms. Okay, now if you go down one more, you can see that we have another female, two X's, but this time she has lowercase h's. Okay, H's both represent hemophilia, just like with complete dominance, when you have a dominant covering a recessive, or two recessives there, the recessive gene is expressed. It's the exact same thing in this case. This female has hemophilia because she doesn't have a dominant there to cover it up, so she has the disease. Okay, she's got two little h's. Now, this normal guy down here, he's an XY, so this is a boy. Now, this is where it gets into, you've got a 50% chance of the male having it and a 50% chance of the male not having it. Because if this male only has one X chromosome, so if they end up with a capital H, that automatically means they're normal. There's nothing else there to go with it. Okay, they're normal. Now, if you go down here to this male, this XY, we know he's a male that way, he has a lowercase h. There's no dominant there to cover it up like there is up here on this carrier female, okay? He's automatically going to have hemophilia because he has this recessive trait. Understand? It's really, really simple and easy. Okay, we're going to do some practice problems to help you out, but that's really the extent of it. There's not really anything that's very difficult, okay? So what I want you to do is at the bottom, all right, at the bottom, there is a place where you can try this on your own. And what I want you to do is I want you to try it on your own, and then I want you to bring it up here and let me check it for you, okay? That's what I want you to do. Good luck, and I will see you guys in a sec.